All right, well, let's get rocking and rolling. This is Armscor University, episode 4. Let's talk about hunting. And I'm going to start off. I know we already talked about the 22 TCM, the TM22 last week's, which is the slide that I have up right now. However, there is one thing I forgot to mention, and that is that TM22 Realtree timber will ship with that Vortex Strikefire 2 red dot optic. Okay, so, and with that being, you can use the TM22. It's a good rifle to take squirrel hunting, small game hunting, or anything like that. So that's actually another reason why I wanted to start with this slide, just up in general. But from here, we're going to move on to the hunting shotguns. Now, the hunting shotguns, again, also have other kind of names, and typically what you'll find is that if it says field, that's going to be like your traditional looking kind of shotgun. If it says, what is it? All generation is going to be one that has a little bit more adjustability. It's a little bit more modern. It's got like a polymer stock and a polymer pump action. Adjustable cheek weld, adjustable length of pull. Like, it's just a little bit more modular, a little bit more modern. So that's going to be all generation, because again, it's supposed to help. You're supposed to be able to grow or shrink the gun depending on who's shooting it, what age they are, length of pull, body size, and all that kind of stuff. If you have the Carina is another name that you might see, and that's going to be for anything that's pump action. And then Lion is anything that is going to be semi-auto. Okay, so you can see on this particular slide, we got the pump action field walnut. And majority of the shotguns are going to be either 24 or 28-inch barrels, depending on what they're being used. And 18 and a half. 18 and a half is going to be anything that's really kind of like on the security side or the self-defense, kind of situation. And then 24 to 28 is going to be typically your hunting. And then you also notice that some of these models, they'll have multiple of the same model, but just in different camo patterns. So we'll have the Realtree Timber, Max 5 is the other one that we have, and then some are just like bronze, so they're just kind of more tanny looky, and then your standard ones. So here we have some pump action fields. You can see there's, the Realtree Timbers, like the Max 5, the Timbers, and then the bottom two right ones are the All Generation. Those are pump shotguns in 410 and 20. So we have 12, 20, and 410 in a lot of these models of shotguns that are available. These are the pump action combos. So these are guns that you can swap out the barrel while you just disassemble the gun and decide which barrel you want to put in. Obviously, each barrel is specifically kind of meant for a certain type of action. So, you have the pump action field combo, then you've got the Realtree Timber Deer, and then the Realtree Turkey Waterfowl. So the combo field and the Realtree Timber Deer, I believe the barrel lengths are both the same size, and that's going to be, there's an 18.5-inch barrel and then a 28-inch barrel. Okay, so whether or not you want to use it for a security self-defense kind of home shotgun, or you want to take it out into the field and use it for the hunting purposes. For the turkey and waterfowl version, that comes with a 24-inch barrel and then a 28-inch barrel. So when you're hunting turkey, I think you want a little bit longer barrel, but you don't necessarily need a 28-inch barrel because that's just a long barrel to be swinging around, and turkeys have really great eyesight, so you want to run with the 24-inch. Just help get your pattern a little bit tighter, a little bit further. But those are the kind of the combo for the hunting world. Here's where we have the semi-autos. They're typically called the Lion series. We've got a standard semi-auto, so that's going to be all black, polymer stock, polymer grip. Then you have the semi-auto field walnut. So that one, again, looks a little bit more traditional because it's got the actual wood stock and wood foregrip and all that. So it just kind of looks a little bit more modern, or classic. Classic is the word, not modern, that we would do for that. Then, of course, we have the semi-auto and Realtree Max 5, and then Realtree Timber. Those are 5+1 as far as capacity goes. I can't recall whether or not they come with a plug that you can put into the feeding tube in order to limit it, because a lot of places, if you're going to take your shotgun bird hunting, you have to only allow 2+1. Like your gun, even if you only have 2 shells in the feeding tube and 1 in the chamber, if your gun can feed 3 or fit 3, then that's a no-no. You got to have it actually physically stopped, so that you can only put 2 rounds at the most inside the feeding tube. So I'll have to get back to you about whether or not they come with a plug that you can just install yourself. But if not, then you just use a wooden dowel. Go to Home Depot and get a stick, cut it down, and stick it in there. Modern modern problems require modern solutions, I guess. So those are the semi-autos. Again, semi-auto we all know I wish the politicians would learn. Semi-auto means you pull the trigger, shoots, and then it loads itself. You don't have to do any pumping action or anything like that. Then we come to the single shots. So these are the new for hunting single shots that come with the Realtree timber pattern. They also do have the regular single shots, which are the wood grain looking stock and foregrip, and then silver receiver with the parkerized barrel. Those are still available, okay, and those are also available in 12, 20, and 410. What you'll notice that's different about these particular models is that we've got that rail installed up on top. That's because for most hunting shotguns nowadays, especially with kids, you want to be able to throw some sort of an optic on there. I can tell you it makes it a whole lot easier to explain to a child how to aim with a shotgun when they have a red dot, because it's hard for a child to understand what does pattern mean, like, and what do you mean, like, as it goes out further it expands, like, why doesn't it stay the same? But right, this way it's just being like, okay, once the turkey or dove or whatever is close enough to you and you tell them, okay, go ahead and pull the trigger, all they got to do is put the dot on the bird and squeeze the trigger, right? So the single shots are great firearms for several reasons. One is price, and then 2 is the options of which caliber do you want to shoot. I think it's a great gun to teach kids on, not just for hunting purposes. I think for firearm safety in general, they've got a single shot. So if they're scared, if they drop the gun or something like that after they fired it, the gun's technically, it's been fired. There's no live shell in it. There's nothing more anything like that. There's nothing like a malfunction on it as far as causing a jam where they don't know what to do with it. And then the price point. The price point on these firearms is absolutely fantastic. If you don't have the dealer price list, then let me know and we'll be sure to get one over to you. So great shotgun for the first time firearms owner, or again for getting kids into firearm safety. And one of the things I like to try and talk about when we come to the idea of getting a junior shooter into the firearms world and how to teach them about firearm safety and stuff like that. One of the things us as a company, and me in particular, I remember my very first gun that I ever bought. It was a Ruger 1022. And I'll forever remember that was my first gun I ever bought. And one thing that I'm trying to get to become more prevalent is that I would love if Rock Island Armory became one of those companies that was in the mix, where their name was talked about. What is the best firearm to buy for my kid for his first gun, kind of thing? Obviously Ruger's got a great name when it comes to the 1022. Smith & Wesson even has a great one with the M&P 1522. Like, I would love if it became like, well, the TM22 from Rock Island is a great gun because it's going to outlast, them growing up. They're going to be able to shoot it as an adult, but so that's one thing I really, really would love to see, is if Rock Island Armory became one of the more standard names that came along with the idea of bringing a brand new firearms enthusiast into the world. Now, we also do have youth shotguns. So the youth shotguns, typically the only difference is that the barrels are going to be a little bit shorter. I think instead of being 28 inches, majority of them are cut back to 24. Just so there's not that extra weight and all that stuff out there on the back. So you can see we've got the youth pump action field walnut, so that good classic clean looking shotgun. Then we have the all generations, which I am a huge fan of because of the fact that you can reduce the length of pull or lengthen the length of pull, and also adjust the cheek well, because we're all a little bit different. Like I mount my gun a little bit differently than so on and so forth, all these other people. So like my rifle, the way it's set up for me, is not going to be perfect for everyone, right? And I love that the all generation shotguns gives you some of that ability to adjust and make changes as you see fit. And then again, to try and encourage the firearms owners to give us a chance at proving that we make a very great product that is long lasting and would be a great way to help build core memories, right, with our kids. We are now making them in the Realtree Max 5 and the Realtree Timber, because one of the things that I've learned since moving from Vegas to Missouri is how the act of hunting, or the entire thing about hunting, right? Waking up early in the morning, getting in the car, driving out to the property, sneaking in nice and quiet, like with a kid, with a child, like that's just a great bonding experience. It's all these memories that they'll grow up and being like, man, I remember, yeah, Dad used to wake me up and I'd sleep in the car on the way out to the hunting property, but I'd always smell his coffee or, whatever. Like we're unlocking and creating core memories here. So it's the act of hunting with your kid, I think, is a great bonding experience as well. And that's something that us as a company would love to get a little bit more in depth and involved with, and like I said, become a kind of more of an everyday household name. Then we have a semi-auto for youth as well. This one is all black. I don't think we have the camo patterns yet, but they should be on the way. And that is only in 12 gauge, but I'm sure you can expect 410 and 20 gauge coming sometime soon. So with that being said, that's pretty much where we're going to end this one. We're starting to get into that 15, 20-minute range, which is where I like to cut it down. But make sure that you check out the promotions page so you can see what firearms are having what promotions right now. You can, I believe that's armscor.com/promotions. Or in the email that got you this link, scroll down a little bit and you'll see that there's a link to the promotions pages there as well. Then make sure you look at the dealer stocking program, and this will also be for California. We have a California stocking program in order to help you get a couple free guns, some swag, and all that kind of stuff. And let's see, was there anything else that I needed to bring up? Yes, there was one more thing. The keyword for this episode is gobbler. Okay, so make sure you write that down. We got one more to go. Once you got that one, you can send me an email with the 5 words, and we will send you a dealer kit swag bag. We're going to send you some promotional materials for you to be able to hang up in the store and all that kind of fun stuff. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. And if you have any questions, concerns, comments, again, feel free to contact me, John McClain at armscor.com. And thank you guys again so much for tuning in. I look forward to helping build this program and this relationship with you at the dealer level. And I will talk to you later.